There is a moment in every soul's journey when the fog finally clears. When the illusions we tell ourselves lose their power, and we are forced to see what has been standing in front of us all along. Your person has reached this moment. The veil has lifted from their eyes, and they are seeing you, truly seeing you, for the first time. This isn't about physical sight. This is about spiritual recognition. For so long, they looked at you through the lens of their own fears, their past wounds, their limited understanding of what love could actually be. They projected onto you their insecurities, their doubts, their unhealed traumas. They saw you not as you were, but as they were capable of seeing at that time. And in that distortion, they missed the miracle that you are. But something has changed. The universe has intervened in their awareness, and they can no longer unsee what they now understand. They are recognizing your depth, your patience, your unwavering authenticity. Where once they might have taken your love for granted or dismissed your emotional wisdom as something ordinary, they now see it as the rare gift it has always been. This new sight is shaking them to their core. It's uncomfortable, this clarity. It forces them to confront how much they failed to appreciate you when they had the chance. It makes them aware of the ways they diminished your light, not because you weren't shining brightly enough, but because they kept their eyes half closed. The regret is real, but it's serving a purpose. It's burning away the last of their resistance, the final excuses they used to keep themselves protected from the intensity of what they feel for you. They are seeing how you showed up for them even when they didn't deserve it. How you loved them through their confusion, their silence, their emotional unavailability. They are recognizing that your love was never conditional on their perfection, that you saw their potential even when they couldn't see it themselves. This revelation is humbling them in the most necessary way. It's stripping away the pride that once kept them distant, the ego that made them believe they could find something better, something easier, something less demanding of their growth. What they are seeing now is that you were never the problem. You were the answer they were too afraid to accept. You were the mirror showing them everything they needed to heal, and instead of thanking you for the reflection, they resented the discomfort it caused. But mirrors don't lie, and neither did you. Your honesty, even when it was painful, was an act of love. Your willingness to stand in your truth, even when it meant standing alone, was a demonstration of strength they are only now beginning to comprehend. This shift in perception is changing everything. They are no longer looking at you through the eyes of who they were. They are seeing you through the eyes of who they are becoming. And in this new vision, you shine brighter than ever before. They are wondering how they ever thought they could live without this light. They are questioning every decision that led them away from your warmth. And most importantly, they are realizing that the version of you they rejected was actually the version they needed most. There is a truth about love that cannot be denied, no matter how hard we try to bury it. When two souls are meant to intertwine, the connection persists beyond separation, beyond silence, beyond the stories we tell ourselves to make the absence feel bearable. Your person is discovering this truth in the most undeniable way. The fire between you never truly died. It was never extinguished, no matter how much distance was placed between your hearts. What they are experiencing now is the resurgence of something they tried to convince themselves was over. They told themselves the feelings had faded. They attempted to replace your energy with distractions, with new connections, with busyness and denial. But love like yours doesn't disappear just because someone wills it away. It waits. It smolders beneath the surface, feeding on the memories, the unspoken words, the what-ifs that refuse to be silenced. Now that fire is rising again, and it's consuming their resistance. They are feeling the heat of what they tried to bury, and it's awakening parts of them they had numbed. The passion, the recognition, the sense of coming home when they think of you, these sensations are returning with a force that frightens them even as it excites them. They are realizing that what they felt with you wasn't ordinary attraction or temporary infatuation. It was the real thing. The kind of love that transforms, that demands growth, that refuses to let either person remain small. This fire is different now than it was before. It's not the wild, uncontrolled blaze of new romance that burns bright and fast. This is a deeper flame, one that has been tempered by separation and tested by time. It carries the wisdom of what was lost, the knowledge of what mistakes cost, and the determination to protect what is precious. Your person is feeling this evolution in their own heart. They understand now that the love between you was never the problem, it was their readiness to receive it, their capacity to hold it, their willingness to do the work required to sustain it. They are remembering the way you made them feel alive in ways nothing else could. How your presence ignited their creativity, their passion for life, their desire to be better. They are recalling conversations that lasted until dawn, laughter that came from the deepest part of their being, silences that felt more comfortable than words ever could. These memories are not torturing them, they are teaching them. They are showing your person what is possible when two souls meet without masks, without defenses, without the fear that usually keeps people guarded. The fire remains, and it is calling them back to truth. They can no longer pretend that what they felt was ordinary or replaceable. They can no longer convince themselves that time and distance have diminished what exists between your souls. If anything, the separation has proven the strength of the connection. It has shown them that real love doesn't need constant contact to survive. It persists. It waits. It believes even when circumstances make belief difficult. Your person is feeling this persistence in their bones now. It's keeping them awake at night, not with anxiety, but with a growing certainty that something unfinished exists between you. They are being haunted by the best parts of what you shared, the moments of genuine understanding, the way you saw through their defenses to the tender heart beneath, the safety they felt in your presence that they haven't found anywhere else. This haunting is becoming a compass, pointing them back toward what they know, deep down, they never should have left. There comes a point in every spiritual journey when external guidance falls away and we are left with only the voice within. Your person has reached this threshold. The opinions of others, the fear-based advice, the logical arguments for why they should move on, these external noises are losing their power. Something deeper is calling to them now, and they are finally learning to listen. Their intuition has been speaking to them about you for longer than they were willing to admit. In quiet moments, in dreams, in the spaces between their thoughts, your name has been whispered. Their soul has been trying to get their attention, to guide them back to what matters most, but they kept turning up the volume on everything else to drown it out. They were afraid of what that inner voice would require of them. They knew that listening would mean facing truths they weren't ready to confront, making changes they weren't sure if they could sustain, risking vulnerability in ways that felt terrifying. But the soul is patient, and it persists. Now your person is in a place where they can no longer ignore what their deepest knowing has been trying to tell them. They are going quiet, creating space away from the distractions and the noise, and in that silence, the answers are becoming clear. Their intuition is confirming what their heart has felt all along, that you are significant, that the connection is meaningful, that walking away completely would be a mistake they would regret for lifetimes. This inner listening is revealing things they couldn't see when they were caught up in the chaos of daily life. They are recognizing the signs, the synchronicities, the way the universe keeps bringing your memory back to them at the most unexpected moments. They are understanding that their continued pull toward you isn't weakness or inability to move on, it's guidance. It's their higher self pointing them toward what aligns with their true path, even when that path requires courage they aren't sure they possess. The answers they seek about what to do next, about whether to reach out, about how to heal what was broken, these answers aren't coming from friends, from self-help books, from logical analysis. They are emerging from a place of deep inner knowing that your person is finally accessing. And what they are hearing is both simple and profound: love is worth the risk. You are worth the risk. The transformation required to be ready for this connection is worth every difficult step. This listening within is also helping them understand you better. They are tapping into the energetic connection that still exists between your souls, and they are feeling your growth, your strength, your own journey of becoming. They sense that you have changed, that you have risen into a version of yourself that demands more, that accepts less than you once did, that knows your worth in ways you didn't before. This sensing is creating both awe and urgency in them. They are in awe of who you are becoming, and they feel urgent about not missing the opportunity to know this evolved version of you. Their intuition is telling them that timing is important, but so is action. It's whispering that they can't wait forever, that windows of opportunity do eventually close, that the universe rewards those who have the courage to follow their heart's deepest knowing. They are learning to trust this guidance, to let it lead them even when the path isn't clearly visible, to believe that what feels right on a soul level is worth pursuing even when the mind can't fully justify it. Welcome back to the channel. If you've found your way here today, trust that it wasn't by accident. The universe has been whispering your name, guiding you toward a message that your soul has been quietly waiting to receive. This reading carries the energy of revelation, of love that refuses to be buried, and of two hearts finding their way back to honest, open connection. Before we dive deep into what your person is truly feeling, I want you to take a breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. Release the tension you've been carrying, the questions that have been circling your mind, the uncertainty that has made your heart feel heavy. What wants to come through today is powerful. It's transformative. And most importantly, it's real. Your person has been undergoing a profound shift. Not the kind of change that happens overnight and fades just as quickly, but the deep, soul-altering transformation that comes when someone finally stops running from the truth they've been avoiding. The cards have revealed 6 distinct messages from their energy, and together they weave a story of awakening, remembrance, and a love that is ready to be reborn. Healing a connection is not like gluing a broken vase back together and pretending the cracks don't exist. It's about honoring that something precious was damaged, taking the time to understand how and why, and then carefully, tenderly, creating something new from what remains. Your person is entering this phase of mending, and they are approaching it with a patience and devotion they didn't possess before. They understand now that rushing won't serve either of you. That trying to pick up exactly where things left off would be a mistake, because both of you have changed, grown, been reshaped by the experiences of separation. What they want to build with you isn't a replica of what was, it's something stronger, more conscious, more resilient. But building this requires care. It requires moving slowly enough to ensure the foundation is solid, being present enough to notice when old patterns try to resurface, being humble enough to address the damage that was done without making excuses or minimizing the impact. This mending process is teaching your person about true love. They are discovering that love isn't just the exciting feelings at the beginning, or the comfortable routines of established partnership. It's also the willingness to do the hard work of repair. It's showing up when things are messy. It's taking responsibility without being forced. It's choosing patience over frustration, understanding over defensiveness, hope over fear. They are practicing these qualities within themselves first, knowing that they cannot offer you what they haven't cultivated in their own heart. The pieces they are working with are fragile. Trust, once broken, doesn't heal overnight. The wounds they contributed to, the moments where they let you down, the times they chose their comfort over your needs, these memories live in your nervous system, and they know this. They aren't expecting you to forget or to pretend the pain didn't happen. What they are hoping for is the chance to demonstrate, through consistent action over time, that they have changed. That the person who hurt you is not who they are choosing to be anymore. This mending is happening on multiple levels. Emotionally, they are processing their own regrets, learning to sit with the discomfort of knowing they caused pain to someone they love. Mentally, they are examining the beliefs and patterns that led to their harmful behaviors, dismantling the narratives that kept them stuck. Spiritually, they are reconnecting with the truth that your souls are meant to journey together, and that this meant-to-be quality comes with responsibility. Physically, they are preparing to take action, to bridge the distance, to offer the tangible proof that their transformation is real. They are approaching this mending with a tenderness that was missing before. Where once they might have been defensive or dismissive of your feelings, they now hold space for the full reality of your experience. They are not rushing you to forgive. They are not demanding that you see their changes immediately. They are simply doing the work, day by day, trusting that sincere effort creates its own evidence, that love given freely and patiently eventually finds its way home. There is a profound shift that happens when someone stops waiting for the perfect moment and simply decides to move. Your person has reached this point of readiness. They are no longer paralyzed by fear of rejection, by uncertainty about the future, by the weight of past mistakes. Something has clicked within them, a recognition that waiting for guarantees is just another form of hiding, and they are choosing to step forward regardless of the outcome. This readiness is changing everything about their energy. Where once there was hesitation, there is now determination. Where once there was confusion, there is now clarity. They understand that they cannot control how you will receive them, whether you will be open to reconciliation, if the timing will align perfectly. But they have realized that these unknowns cannot be the reason they stay stuck. They would rather risk your rejection than live with the regret of never having tried. They would rather face the discomfort of vulnerable communication than continue carrying the weight of unspoken words. This forward movement is happening on internal levels first. They are releasing attachments to how things should look, letting go of the need to control the narrative or protect their image. They are accepting that true growth requires being seen in their imperfections, acknowledging their mistakes without the cushion of excuses, being willing to look foolish or vulnerable in the service of honesty. This internal liberation is making them brave in ways they haven't been before. Externally, you may soon see evidence of this readiness. It might come as a message that breaks the silence, an attempt to initiate conversation, a gesture that demonstrates they have been paying attention to who you are and what matters to you. Or it might be more subtle, a shift in how they show up in shared spaces, a new presence in your digital world, mutual friends mentioning that your name keeps coming up in their conversations. However it manifests, the energy behind it will be different than before. It won't be impulsive or desperate. It will be intentional, grounded, respectful of your autonomy while clearly communicating their desire to rebuild. This readiness is also shifting how they view the potential future between you. They are no longer imagining a return to what was, they are envisioning what could be. They are dreaming of a partnership where both people have done the work, where the lessons of the past inform a wiser present, where the connection is deeper because it has been tested and chosen again. They are preparing themselves to meet you not as the person they were, but as the person they are becoming, and they are hoping you will see and feel the difference. The most powerful aspect of this forward movement is that it is happening regardless of external circumstances. They aren't waiting for signs that you still care, for proof that the door is open, for the perfect astrological alignment. They have decided that their love for you, their recognition of what you shared, their desire to make amends, these are reasons enough to act. This self-generated momentum is the most promising sign that their transformation is genuine. Real change doesn't need perfect conditions. It creates its own path forward. The final message coming through is the most beautiful, the most vulnerable, the most true. Your person is ready for heart-to-heart connection. The walls that once kept you at a distance, the masks that prevented you from seeing their authentic self, the defenses that turned love into a battleground, these protections are coming down. They are preparing to meet you with complete honesty, with nothing to hide, with a willingness to be fully seen and to fully see you in return. This is terrifying for them. Letting you see their regrets, their fears, the ways they feel they failed you, this requires a courage they weren't sure they had. But they have discovered that the pain of hiding is greater than the pain of being known. They would rather risk your judgment than continue living behind barriers that keep genuine connection impossible. They are choosing transparency because they finally understand that love cannot thrive in secrecy, that intimacy requires exposure, that the only way to have something real is to be real. What they want to offer you is a conversation that goes deeper than surface apologies or empty promises. They want to share what they have learned about themselves through missing you. They want to acknowledge the specific ways they let you down, not in a general sense, but with the detail that shows they truly understand your experience. They want to express what you mean to them, not with grand declarations, but with the quiet sincerity of someone who has spent long nights contemplating the truth of their feelings. This heart-to-heart is about listening as much as speaking. They are preparing to hear your pain without defending themselves, to validate your experience even when it's uncomfortable, to give you the space to express whatever you need to express without rushing toward resolution. They know that you may not be ready to receive them. They understand that their readiness doesn't obligate you to anything. But they are hoping that your heart will recognize the authenticity in theirs, that you will feel the difference between who they were and who they are choosing to be. The masks are off. The games have ended. What remains is two human beings who touched each other's lives in profound ways, who learned and grew through the connection, who now have the opportunity to choose each other with fuller awareness and deeper commitment. Your person is hoping you will be open to this choice. They are trusting that what was real between you still exists beneath the hurt, waiting to be rediscovered and rebuilt with the wisdom you both have gained. They want you to know that they see you. The real you, not the version they projected their fears onto. They see your strength, your compassion, your patience, your depth. They see the ways you loved them even when they made it difficult, the grace you extended even when they didn't deserve it, the belief you held in them even when they couldn't believe in themselves. They are recognizing that these qualities make you rare, precious, irreplaceable. And they are hoping that this recognition, finally voiced without reservation, will find its way to your heart. As we close this reading, I want you to take a moment to feel into what has been shared. Your person's energy is reaching toward you with a sincerity that cannot be faked. The transformation